Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Haunted Holidays live streaming fundraiser. If this is your first time tuning in to Diversity Saves, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization made up of passionate BIPOC, LGBTQIA, Neurodivergent, and Disabled TTRPG creators, actors, and fans who wanted to create a means to amplify voices not only in the community, but in the works we consume across the industry. We are committed to promoting and uplifting marginalized communities in the tabletop role playing industry, and with the funding from our donors, seek to aid the community with grants for marginalized creators, provide TTRPG supplies and materials to educational and recreational centers to promote education and creative exploration, and uplift voices by providing a platform for underrepresented creators to promote diversity and inclusion. So far, our grant program has given $7,000 back to the community to bring projects to life, and that is what we are here for today. My name is Nekola. I am the producer and the invisible voice in the sky. I am real quick going to talk about some of the donations, and then I'm going to pass it off to our amazing cast of. I just lost my train of thought. Here we go. All right. Uh, you can affect today's game! Exclamation point donate in the chat for our donation link. For $1, you can give a player of your choice +1 on one of their rolls. At the $5 level, you can make something spooky happen in the game. You also get to take home the Stained Carbon Battle Map bundle. 8 battle maps to include in your games, and some of them even have the Foundry conversion. At the $10 level, the party will get a pet, and who doesn't love that? You also get to take home your choice of the Tome of Dungeons or the Mad Cartographer map packs. At the $20 level, an NPC will come help our party with the task that they are currently working on, and you get to take home the Wormlings RPG. There are other more options on the donation link, but I'm not going to keep taking up your time. I think we should get started. I'm going to pass it over to Claudia.
Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm Claudia, and I'm Mexican. I currently am the co-organizer with my husband of the Latin Lounge. We run games in English and Spanish at Gen Con, and we do some other things, panels, and I've also written for a couple of games, Pasión de las Pasiones, Cartel, and Nahual RPG. And that's basically me. And now it's Anna's turn to present themselves.
Hi, I'm Anna. You can usually hear me as Amelia in the Minds Never Matter podcast. You can also find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Local Level Up Lady. I also have a lot of other really cool projects that we haven't announced yet that are coming in 2025. I'm going to pass it to Kenzie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kenzie Tartaglione. You can find me at my podcast, Queer PG, where we specialize in playing games made by queer designers. And I will pass it to Steve.
I think Steve is having some trouble, sir. Steve, can you hear us? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and explain a bit about the game. Today we are playing TeaTime Adventures, which is a game by Snowbright Studio. It's a very cozy and nice game for tea parties. I like to make tea when I play. It's compatible with 5th edition, but it's a completely different game. You play as anthropomorphic animal, and we have 6 animals. We have a alligator, fairy, birds. Then I have a frog. I'm missing. What am I missing? Oh, the deer, of course. And this is a game about building community and helping your friends and neighbors and basically having a good time together and give gifts to each other and stuff. And today we're going to play in one of the major holidays of the Verdant Isles. Verdant Isles is the world we're playing in. We are playing in one of the small towns of one of the isles, which is called Oakenbend. It's a nice little town of... it has not too many people, and It's about 300 years old, and it has a lot of traditions, old and new. And we are finding out which traditions are we exploring today. This is a kind of a spooky game. We're going to be investigating some spooky happenings. And why don't let's go ahead and Kenzie introduce your character, please.
Okay. I am playing Prim Button. They use they them pronouns. They are a flora drop, which is a fuzzy winged creature. And they have silver and teal wings with these golden boots that have a bunch of bells and ribbons and buttons tied all over them. Their eyes are like a snow globe, so they're white and they kind of swirl. And yeah, they always have this satchel over them as they flutter around because they are a very dedicated mail carrier.
I like that. Anna, would you like to go? No?
Yeah. I'm gonna be playing Cassie Chomparelli. She's a snootling, so she's an alligator folk. She works in event planning, so anything you need, wedding, birthday, just having a good day, she'll make it happen. She wears lots of loud red colors, giant red hat with feathers and flowers coming back from the back. She's also got like, I imagine it's kind of chilly outside, so she's got like this really big maroon overcoat, all the stops. She's loud. She wants other people to know she's loud, and she wants people to be loud and happy with her.
Yay. I agree. Steve, are you with us now?
I certainly hope so.
Yay.
Sorry about that, folks. A little bit of audio issues. But hi, I'm Steve. You can find me on the socials at Tall Halfling, sometimes Tall Halfling RPG. And today I'm playing Arnold, who is well, mechanically he's a hop top. In my head, he's a frog. He's a frog person with a very fancy pair of goggles with lightning bolts on them. He's, mechanically speaking, always thinking up new ideas.
Nice.
I'm sure he could have fixed this just fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna explain a bit about the holiday. So we this is the beginning of the winter in Oakadbin, and the Verdant Isles are preparing for the winter ahead. They're preparing some food for the winter, and they are decorating the homes. Basically, it's right before it snows, and the holiday of today is the leaping of the hoptops. Each ancestry in this game has a holiday. This holiday is for the hoptops. And the leaping of the hoptops basically comes when the Verdant Isles prepare for the winter ahead. And this is a holiday of people opening their hearths and homes to welcome neighbors and friends and even visitors from afar. And basically they lit the fireplaces and they dance and sing so they can literally and figuratively warm their homes. That's why they're called home warming parties. And today is a very big house home warming party at the mayoral manor where the mayor lives. That's gonna be later in the day. Today we're starting right at the beginning of the day. You just had breakfast and are going out to explore the town, to see the decorations. You are new to this town, you're visiting, you've been here a couple of days. And we have established that you're friends, so you are traveling together to explore Oakenben and its traditions. So we are going to start with you walking in a park in downtown. It's a small town, but it has a downtown, and you see that you have heard, you have met people who are a bit kind of jumpy, and you don't know exactly why. They don't seem festive like they should. I mean, it's a holiday, and you don't really know what to make of it. So you just go with the flow. And this morning you're walking around town and you find yourselves in a park, and you see a group of people kind of like bending over something, and you see they're chatting and they seem kind of like distressed. And as you approach, you hear an elderly snuggling woman, which is the alligator people. You see she has a nice dress and a hat, and she's kind of like she's very distressed. She's saying like, this is like the third one I've seen this week alone. I don't understand what's happening. This is deliberately, this is vandalism, and those rascals are going to ruin our holiday. What should we do? Like, cancel the holiday? And then a Puffwing interjects and he says, no, Bivins, calm down. We cannot cancel the holiday. I mean, this is the big holiday of the month. And then another snuggling interjects, another elderly snuggling woman, and she goes like, that's right, we cannot cancel the holidays under any circumstances. And you see that they go back and forth for a while as you approach. And when you approach, you see that in the ground, you kind of glimpse between their legs a flower, a purple flower, and you see that this is not a flower. It's like a button. It hasn't bloomed yet, but it's kind of made out of kind of like crystal, like a lilac color crystal. And you see some stones and some bones surrounding it. And when you approach, this very energetic elderly woman says, it's you. You are the rascals. You are the vandals. You arrived casually when this thing's starting to pop. So what do you do?
I think Cassie would immediately kind of jump in and be like, rascal? You think that we're rascals? We came here to celebrate.
Did you know? And she looks very suspicious.
I'm here to throw parties, not to vandalize.
Oh yeah, what have you done today?
Well, I ate breakfast and I went on a walk with my two friends. She motions to the other two.
Prim is kind of flying in circles and searching through the bag and pulls out this like very like delicately designed envelope and says, I went to the post office and I got all of your mail, and I have actually mail for you. So I don't know why I would vandalize a town in which I am part of the government.
Do you hand her like a piece of
I
mail?
hand her a letter, yeah, an envelope.
Oh, wow. She takes it and she goes like, like she doesn't know what to
I
do with
am
this
an
information.
honorary mail carrier for your home.
She goes like, thank you. I'm still not. And she's still looking at you suspiciously. And a very tiny hopped up man approaches you, and you recognize him. This is the mayor. His name is Mayor Montesquieu. And since this is a very small town, he actually welcomed you when you arrived a couple of days before at the inn where you're staying. And he goes like, no, now, Matt, don't go about accusing people of doing things, especially our guests. You like the guests during the holidays, don't you? And she goes like, she mumbles something about, yeah, she's very worried about the holiday.
You at least like the hop top guests on the leaping of the hop tops, right?
right. The mayor goes like, well, I mean, I'm very excited about this holiday established by my ancestors, but as the mayor, I have to treat everyone the same and hype every holiday. But you see, he goes like, he gets excited.
Just to be clear, that was to Madge.
Oh, sorry.
Arnold just bristling a little bit at being told that he's trying to ruin his own people's holiday.
Oh yeah, and Madge goes like, the vandals may have their own reasons, and the mayor goes like, yeah, Madge, just go check your plants or something, and the mayor goes like, I'm sorry about that. People are kind of like jumpy and worried because we've been having these strange flowers all over the town. We don't know where they come from, and some people seem to have seen you see that the first woman, Bibbins, she looks over at the mayor and she opens her eyes like, what? And the mayor looks at her and he goes like, well, some people say they have seen a ghost. And Bibbins kind of like rolls her eyes and she goes like, yeah, right, a ghost.
You mean to tell me that there's a ghost planting flowers?
And the mayor goes like, well, that's what Torrance said.
Well, I think that they're right.
Oh,
Can you deliver mail to ghosts? I'm just curious. I've never met one myself.
You could deliver mail to anybody as long as it's addressed to them.
Anything to a ghost in your bag?
I mean, I would have to know the name of the ghost.
Any ideas what the ghost name could be? Are there
You
any
know what?
local
Actually, what would
legends
be
or
that's a good that's a thought.
the
Maya,
mayor
do
goes
you
like,
happen to know?
well, I haven't seen it, but Sale saw it, I'm sure, and I think Miss V at the library saw it too. Those are the people I remember. Maybe you should go talk to them. Maybe they know where to find it.
Arnold, what do you think? Have you ever met a ghost before?
No, but I'm fascinated to examine and learn more, and so whole new kind of people to
I mean, I
he
know
stops
that
himself before he can say experiment on. That's not what he's trying to say. A whole new group of people to learn about. Yeah.
I know that the flowers are scaring people, but the idea of having a ghost florist on hand for any kind of party or celebration we might be putting on during our visit sounds really special to me.
Also, why are people upset about the flowers? I wouldn't call that vandalism.
And as you said that, you say like, why are people upset at the flowers? And you point at the flower and you see tiny raccoon kind of trying to scratch the flower, like going like trying to open it. And this is a potential pet for you guys because we had a donation of $10. Thank you so much.
A little guy.
Yeah, the raccoon is just like kind of like trying to scratch the flower. It's not doing anything, but he's trying.
I flutter down and I like try to put my hand between the flower and the raccoon and I go, "Hey, buddy, take it easy."
Well, I would like you to roll for me. Is it fauna? Yes, fauna friendship, please. So the skills in this game are kind of mainly social, and we players have a skill called fauna friendship. They can roll the die, which is a d20, like in 5th edition, and they can try to befriend this little guy.
Before you make that roll, I give you a little pat on the shoulder, and I have a magical ability called Embolden, which allows me to give someone some extra confidence. So
Nice.
sort of kind of a guidance kind of thing.
Yes,
Okay.
you are very competent.
I got a 21.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go and say, hey, buddy, and he's kind of a scratch, and you put your hand between him and the flower, and he goes and looks at you, and then he starts kind of like smelling you, and he approaches very slowly, and then he boops your nose with his nose. And yeah, he likes you. You spoke very nicely to him.
Well, aren't you just the cutest little thing? What are you going to name him?
I was thinking Stripes.
Nice.
I like
A
Stripes.
it.
pleasure to meet you, Stripes.
Stripes. Very good. And you have your good. And then he goes like, he looks at you, and he looks at the flower, and he goes like, goes to scratch the flower, but he looks at you.
Paw on the ground.
He puts it down.
Yeah,
He looks
very
at you.
good.
Imagine all of the flowers we could find for Stripes if we locate the ghost.
I want to find the ghost.
So Mr. Mayor, you said over at the library they might have some more information, people who've actually encountered the spirit.
He goes like, yeah, I've heard Misby, who is our head librarian, and also Torin told me the other day that his husband saw the ghost, although he was kind of like cagey about it. But yeah, those are the people I remember.
Well, any objections, you two? Worst comes to worst, we get a trip to the library.
I was going to say, I think the
Ooh.
library is always the best place to start.
My favorite place. Best part of any town. Next to the post office, I'm sure, but
It's okay. They're kind of one and the same in some towns.
okay.
Are we ready to head on over there?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're heading to the library. That's what I'm hearing. Okay. So yeah, they are still gathered from some people left, but there are some people there still looking at this bloom, and kind of like they don't know what to do with it. And so you take off, and the library is kind of not too far away from there. It's a very big building, really tall. It's not that old, but it looks like it's been there a while. And as you enter the library, you see that it's in complete disarray because this is a holiday and school just ended. So kids just finished their homework for the term, and they headed to the holidays and the vacation and to having fun. Wait a moment. I'm sorry, I'm lost. Sorry, I forgot. I lost my notes for a moment. There we go. Okay. So, you enter the library, and there you see some kids there, and they are kind of like running around, and they have like a bunch of books spread on the table, and it's very loud for a library. And then you see you see a tiny Floridop, which is this kind of like furry fairy with butterfly wings. They have purple and orange, very bright purple and orange wings. They are actually walking, and you see that they are carrying a large pile of books in their hands. and they approach the counter as you enter, and they go like, "Oh, salutations and greatest welcomes to our library. What can I do for you? Oh my god!" And then they drop the books, and they all fall to the ground with a loud thud. And you see a couple of loose pages that go flying around, and they go like, "Oh darn, those pages again. Where am I gonna? I don't even know what the books are. Would you mind, please?" And they ask you to please help them pick up the pages.
Arnold's already getting the books all stacked back up and nicely organized. Organized by color, but that'll work.
You see that these are very, very old books. You see kind of like a small book that says Spring Songs and Poems. Then you see a cookbook and a book called Old Oaken Bend Dances. And then you see like a very, very old seed catalog. And then you see a small bound journal. It has no name on the cover or anything. It just says journal, and if you open it, you can see it's handwritten. And Miss V thanks you for helping them organize the books. And yes, and now I'm gonna show you the pages. And this is why I need roll 20. Nekola, please. Brace yourself. I'm gonna show them one by one, but it's gonna be a couple of them. Yes. Then are you able to see them?
See them
Yep.
on my end.
Really?
We organize that.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So you see these. So you see them all right?
Yes.
Okay, so you see that there are 6 loose pages, and they are different sizes and colors, and you can see that they are very, very old. And Miss V goes like, if you hand them to them, or if you pick them up, and they go like, "Oh, those pages are, I don't even know where the books they belong to." And they go kind of like you see that they are having kind of like a hard day because the library is in disarray, and you see kids running around, and they go like, I have to order these new acquisitions, and I don't even know what to do with them. But thank you for helping me. And yeah, so what would you like to do now?
Do you mind if I take a look at those spare pages? Maybe we can figure out where they go.
Oh, they go like, "Oh, I would really appreciate it." And you see that they go to kind of like lean over the countertop for a moment to catch their breath. So they go like, "Yeah, sure. These are the books I think they belong to." And they point at the books that Arnold just ordered by color and size. And yeah. Would you like to read the pages one by one? You can take turns. Maybe you can read 2, and then Steve can read 2, and Kenzie can read the last 2.
Sure, I'll read the
that's
first
okay.
2.
All right.
The question is, should I read them as Cassie or as myself? Okay. Cassie will pick up the first 2 spare pages, and she'll start reading them. Springtime is the perfect time to get cooking. I encourage you to gather the following ingredients and add some greenery to your kitchen. Asparagus is lovely when seasoned and then roasted or pan fried in your favorite oil. Separate the root and the green tops. Cook the roots until tender and use as a base in sauces and stir fries. and use the tops as garnish on your favorite recipes. There's also, I would like to point out that encourage is circled on that page.
Yeah, you will see that all pages have a word singled out, and you see that this is handwritten, this circle with purple ink. And if you check the 2 pages you have, and you see that the ink is actually the same in both pages, even though these books, these belong to different books and probably ages.
Okay. So page 2, Cassie will flip over to that one next, and she'll read Fama Spence's Tomato Extravaganza. Varieties for all needs, seeds for all kinds of gardens. Nourish yourself. And then there's a list of tomato varieties and sketches of their corresponding seed packets that follow. It includes vine, cherry, and heirloom tomatoes. Nourish is circled on that page.
Nice, thank you. Steve or
Yep.
Kenzie, would you like to go next?
Sure.
Thank you.
So the third loose page. Today I took a walk to the lake gate. He pauses and writes that down. It's coming together beautifully. I love helping the carpenters fetch boards for the scaffolding, and sometimes they need help sorting the nails into long and short. He pauses again and is enthusiastic about people sorting things. Someday, I'd like to build my very own tree house. I think that would be splendid. Here's a drawing of the strawberries I saw on my walk today. They're growing so strong. I wish my strawberry crops at home were as happy. I also saw this ivy starting to grow by the lake gate. It's going to look so pretty someday. And the word crops is circled.
You also notice that this page is handwritten with the same ink of the circle. And you see a nice drawing of some strawberries at the bottom. Yeah, like a hand drawing.
Very pretty. And he pulls out the fourth page. Etiquette. Being polite. Etiquette for asking a partner to dance. Always ask politely, may I have this dance? Extend your hand. If they say no, fantastic. Respect them and say thank you. If they say yes, fantastic. You have a partner for the next song. Be sure to vary who you ask to dance. Make sure that no one is left out. At the end of the dance, escort your partner back to their table or chair with a flourish and make sure to thank them for the dance again. And flourish is circled.
Thank you. Kenzie?
Prim picks up the 5th one and goes, oh no, I've never been good at poetry. But I'll give it a go. The brook babbles on over stone and sand. The brook babbles on, we walk hand in hand. Oh, I like when they rhyme. Riverside sitting with you, spring sky is so blue. If you need something to do, just take my advice and go down to. And then you're supposed to repeat it, but I think it's okay if I just read it one time. And
Cassie starts
spring.
clapping.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Spring is circled on that one. And then for the last one, on a faraway day a long time ago, there lived a dear kid couple named Anya and Marigold. They yearned to make a home together, but nowhere seemed right. They set up camp by the ocean, but the breeze was too cold. They tried the swamp, but they always seemed to get holes in their shoes. They climbed a mountain, but the stars were too bright at night to sleep. It seemed like nowhere was perfect. Until one day, they met some new friends who invited them to join them by the bank of a winding river. Marigold loved the way that the river carried new stories to its banks, and Anya adored how peaceful sitting by the river was. They decided then and there to join their new friends and live by the river. Marigold and Anya quickly became friends with everyone in the small town, and noticed that all their neighbors had beautiful gardens. Wanting one of her own, Adia began asking around for tips on growing beautiful plants. Her new friends told her to seek out the voices of those who had come before to ask for guidance. Take a special gift to the moonlight stone on the hill and ask your question, they said. Marigold cooked a special meal that night, and she and Anya walked together up the hill to the moonlight stone. Placing the tortillas and spice sauce on the stone, they joined hands and asked those who came before where best to plant their garden. The glow of the moon illuminated the stone, and
you notice that this is one page and it stops there, and you don't know what happens next. The other page is missing. And I'm gonna mention that we had a donation for $5 from James. Thank you so much. So something spooky is gonna happen. And we have a donation as well from Paula for $25. So we'll have a friendly NPC. And I'm gonna introduce you that, which is that so Miss B was listening to you reading the pages, and they go like, well, that sounds a lot like the founding of Oakenbend, you know, back in the day when they founded the town right at the bend of Oak, because there's a Oak Woods right outside of town, and Oakenbend sits where the river bends. That's why it's called Oakenbend. And then they go like, so, the moonlight stone on the hill, that sounds a lot like one of those big altars up in Memory Hill, which serves both as kind of like a some sort of like a temple, like open temple, or and a cemetery at the same time. And they go like, yeah, that sounds a lot like and they go like, they look at the page and they go like, is this a real story? This doesn't sound that familiar. Like, and they stop to think for a moment.
do you
See-
think
oh,
that would be a good place for a ghost to live?
I was going to say, doesn't that sound like the address of a specter of some
I'm gonna
kind?
look through my bag and see if I can find a letter to a ghost.
I think
in
that is
my
an
bag.
excellent idea. By the way, I don't think we asked you yet. Have you spotted a ghost recently?
Oh, their face just illuminates and they go like, oh, yeah, I saw the ghost. I swear I saw the ghost. And I'm gonna give you some hints. Unlike old Sally over over there, you know how writers are. They have a very vivid imagination. I think he just imagined it, but I actually saw it, and I'm gonna tell you where I saw it. I saw it at its hunting place. Hunting, like a A and E, hunting, and they go like, it's what do you know? It's at the old Midnight Manor. Turns out that building is actually haunted, and if you don't know what the Midnight Manor is, and I would assume that you looked at them with a puzzled look, like the what now? And they go like, oh, the Midnight Manor. Oh, you're new here. Oh, well, let me tell you something really interesting. The Midnight Manor was built kind of like a 100 years ago. I don't even remember, by a very creepy, mysterious, weird, strange Deer King man. Um, he just built it. He moved in his family, and then they never came out of the house. They would never go to the store. The children wouldn't go to the school. They would just stay there, and they would take barrels and barrels of dirt out of the house. And someday they just vanished, disappeared. They were gone, and the house it's abandoned ever since. The mayor doesn't want to tear it down. He says that it's a historical building and whatnot, but I think he's just scared.
Prim. any mail addressed to the manor or the graveyard.
I feel like this is a question that I have to ask the GM. Do I have a letter addressed to a ghost at the manor?
Let's see. Let's roll a d20, please. Just a d20.
A 5.
A 5, huh? Okay. Okay. So you look in your little mailbag and you go like, no, I don't see that. You go over by the names over and over again and you go like, no. And then as you go to put your mail back, you notice a tiny postcard right at the bottom of the bag, and you hadn't seen it before, and you're like, how did this get here? And it's actually addressed to the Midnight Manor, and it says Midnight Manor, number, street, Oakenbend, but it has no name. It's just like a picture of a kind of like a wintry snapshot.
Does it have an address from like where it came from or no?
No.
I found
Somebody
it.
wrote a postcard to a house?
Yeah, it's kind of like addressed to the house, and you like turn it around and you go like, huh. And you see the you turn it around and to see what's written behind it, and it says like something very generic, something like happy holidays from whatever. And as you turn it back on your hand, you see a family of deerkin that definitely were not there before.
It's a magic postcard.
That's a spooky thing that happened. You're supposed to be spooked.
The deer were not here a second ago. And also, this postcard was not in my bag when I started out my day.
Do you think the ghost put it in there?
Well, that means the ghost is playing some pranks. And it knows that we're looking for it. Hello, ghost. If you're around, I advise you come out now.
And as you say that, and you hear a large thud, and you go like, ah! And you see that Miss B says, oh, sorry, drop the book.
Okay. Oh, speaking of, hold on. I got a letter for you.
They take the letter and go like, oh,
There
thank
you go.
you.
Of course. This was going to be a later stop, but my day has been turned upside down, so you get it early.
Thank you. And as you are discussing this, Arnold, what are you doing?
I think I'm still checking out these pages. We know that the circles, there isn't a circle on page 6, weirdly.
Right.
We know the circles are in the same handwriting as the handwritten page. Yeah, Arnold's good at one of his strengths is minding details. So I think he's going to take a moment and compare the handwriting on the handwritten page to the journal, which is the other handwritten thing that we've heard about.
Sure. Go ahead.
So I guess that's a roll. Minding details. Okay. That's a 19.
Oh wow, that's a very good roll. So yeah, you're checking the pages and you notice that there are 6 pages in 5 books. And as you're checking the loose page of handwritten kind of like a journal, you notice that it is exactly the same as the journal you Miss B dropped, and you actually find where the loose page came from. You see the kind of like the bits of where the page was torn. And Missy goes like, oh, you find one. Maybe the other ones go with the other books.
Do you know who wrote this journal? Because it looks to me like that writing looks kind of like the ink of all these circles and everything else.
They look at the ink and they go like, oh yeah, you're right. And they go like, I wasn't here actually. My assistant was here, but she's gone for the holidays. And these are new acquisitions. Someone brought them. What was her name? It was a flower name, like Daisy, or I don't remember. I don't really remember.
A flower name, huh? Interesting. Hmm.
We have a flower. It's somebody with a flower name.
And
Wild
the
theory.
postcard.
Wild theory. The person with the flower name got turned into that flower.
Is that possible? Can somebody get turned into a flower?
Stripes, what do you think?
Stripes looks at you and he kind of turns his head and then he goes to kind of want to scratch one of the books.
I think Stripes is on my side.
Which book is he scratching?
Which book would be at the top, Arnold?
Well, whichever one is smallest or most brightly colored, I think.
Probably the journal then. I think that's gonna be the smallest book.
If we look into that journal, is there anything like, are there any entries of note in there?
Not really. I mean, you see, this is a very mundane a journal, and it talks about the holidays in Oakenbend, and it mentions Oakenbend, but then you notice that they mention something about a street or a building that you know is not there anymore because you walked by that street this morning or yesterday or something like that. So you go like, this looks like a very old diary of a former resident. I mean, they are probably kind of like no longer here since it's very old.
Mhm. Well, Arnold, you've been going through and organizing all of these. What do you think our next step should be? Do you think there's any information in here we can use when we go to the spooky house?
I just think it's weird that from what you were reading, it sounds like the journals from a very nice person, and then they went and wrote in library books.
Vandalized them.
You heard about it vandalizing earlier, didn't we? Yeah.
Would you like to roll a noticing check to see to analyze the ink?
Sure. It's a 16.
Okay.
I'm using up all of my decent rolls early.
That's great. So you're discussing this and you see that this journal is written in a purple ink and you see that the circles are also a purple ink. But then you notice that these circles are newer than the old ink on the journal.
Interesting.
Arnold, is it weird to you that the story doesn't have a circled word?
It's certainly different. I'm not sure why the other ones have circled words, so I don't know if it's weird, but maybe if we can
What
match
if
up
we
the pages to the books they came from. We did that with one of them, and I think the poem should be pretty easy. Probably I think I remember there was a songs and poems in the stack.
Right. So if let me, I never gave you the actual names of the books. I'm gonna put them on the Roll20 chat. If I can copy them. Oh, okay. So we have an unnamed journal with diagrams of plant life. So plant life. Spring songs and poems. Marjorie's garden recipes. Old oaken bend and bend fences. Three keys. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation of that word. And an old seed catalog. So these are the books. Yes. And you already matched the loose journal page to the journal?
I met a woman once, and she would sing songs in her garden to make her plants grow. So what if the circled words, like we gotta sing them for these flowers to bloom? I'm just throwing stuff out, guys. I don't know.
I think that we could certainly try it. You know, I also noticed, Prim, that postcard that you got, that's
Indeed.
a deerkin family
It is.
on the front, right? And that short
Are they
story.
still there?
So you go look at the postcard again and you see a single deerkin and you see kind of like a woman deerkin with a purple dress and some flowers on the antlers.
Well, it's changed, but there is still a deerkin on it.
Well, I was also thinking that in the short story that we found, the one that gets cut off, the two main
We're deerkin.
characters are deerkin that find community.
You're right.
And everything's purple. Weren't the flowers purple as well?
Right, yes.
And all the flowers that are around town are also
And the
purple.
ghost is also
And
purple as well.
and the flower name is in the story. Her name is Marigold.
Cassie's going to look at the librarian. Was the name Marigold? Does that sound familiar?
And they go like, I don't think so.
Okay.
It was
Just
shorter.
a coincidence.
What a...
Daisy.
Eh,
Okay. Tulip.
and they go like every time you say a name,
Rose?
they scratch their head and they go like, I don't know, I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I should have
Okay.
written it down.
Interesting. Cassie's kind of scanning through this short story some more to see if there's any more clues.
Okay. Arnold, are you still working on matching the pages to the books?
Yeah. So the good news is that of his three skill bonuses, focusing and minding details are both on the list. The not so good news is that the third one on the list is daydreaming, which I'm sure will come in at some point.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
That's the something spooky. So maybe I'll just swap spaces.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So sorry about that weird disconnection, and then I got it all fixed. So let's pick back up with our. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. Let's pick up back up with this amazing crew.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So we were focusing on Arnold trying to find the match the missing pages to the books.
Yep. Just in case it got dropped, I just think it's funny that of the three skills he's really good at, minding details and focusing are two of them, and then the third one is daydreaming, which certainly isn't going to get him into any trouble whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you that the daydreaming is some it you use it to come up with ideas for something or to remember something.
Yeah,
Something.
I mean it's useful. It's just, can he control when he's daydreaming when he's trying to do something else? Who knows? So it seems to me, so page 1 is clearly a recipe, so it came from the recipes book. Page 2 is about seeds, so it came from the seeds book. Then we got the
Right.
journal. Page 5 is poem, so it comes from the songs and poetry book. 6, I'm guessing, is from the old Oakenbend Dandies, a treatise. But 4 about etiquette for dancing, I'm not sure it matches any of the books we've got in front of us yet. There may be a book we still need to find.
So you check the sizes of the pages, and you can clearly see that. I mean, you spend a couple of minutes analyzing these books, and you see that Loose page 4 is actually from the Old Oakenbend Dances, and then
Oh,
page
okay, all right. I misread one of the titles. Okay.
right, and then Loose page 5 is from Spring Songs and Poems, and you found the recipe, the seed catalog, and you finally see that Loose page 6 has no book to match it. There's just 5 books there, and you cannot find it. You try to match it, but it's actually bigger than the other books.
Well, Arnold, you did an amazing job organizing all the books. That one page, though, no match.
Well, it doesn't match any of these. I think he's going to look at the librarian. Do you know if there's if you have a book about local history that's, well, this big?
So Miss V takes the page, and they go like, "Oh no, I'm missing book. I no, what? No, I don't know. I don't know where this page came from. It doesn't really sound familiar. Oh no, I need to find this book now. Listen, I really gotta go to work and to trying to find this book. I cannot have a missing book, but here, thank you, thank you so much for helping me. I'm gonna give you these, and they hand you a pair of glasses that they're really nice. They are purple, and you see that they have like cat ears on the I don't know what's on the legs. I don't know what this is called, but
Temples?
right. So so yeah, these are red cat eye spectacles with rainbow colored wooden beads along the glasses chain, and as they hand them to you and you touch them, and since you are attuned to magic, and not everyone is, but you actually are attuned to magic, you recognize this as a magical object, and they are called rosy cat eyeglasses. And when you wear them, these glasses turn the world a shade of rosy pink, and you have +1 to your wit score while you are wearing them. And yeah, if you don't have any more, if you have any questions for Miss B, they are going to answer them. But they are kind of like they are very distressed because they have a missing book.
Arnold has a moment of indecision because he loves his lightning bolt goggles, but he puts them up on his forehead and puts on the new glasses and looks
Arnold,
around.
purple is absolutely your color. It
Oh,
looks
it is.
incredible.
It's great.
I feel smarter already.
I do think that you should put those glasses and look them at the manor, though. I think that's our next stop, mostly because I do need to deliver this postcard.
That is true. 2 birds, 1 stone. I think they say that still.
Before we leave, I want to take a quick look at the pages, see if there's anything that I can suddenly see that I couldn't see before. It's a long shot, but
You see, they look really purple. But other than that, no, you have
okay.
the no, you have the circles, the pages. You match the pages. No, you don't really notice anything else.
All right. No disappearing ink or anything. All right. And he's ready to go.
So you're done here.
So I think we're ready to
Okay.
head
So
to
Miss V thanks you for your help, and they are really, really grateful because these missing pages were very stressful for them, and they bid you farewell, and they say, "Oh well, see you at tonight's party, I guess."
That is if the ghost doesn't get us first.
Happy hopping.
Cassie
Happy
gives a
happy
big
days.
wave.
Okay, so we had another $10 donation from Jinx. Thank you so much. And now, as you step outside, and you see that it's kind of like the afternoon is coming down. You don't know where did they went, and you are climbing down the stairs to the sidewalk, and you hear very, very, how do you say, like a tiny meow, and you see there are 2 kittens just sitting there in front of the library, and as they see you, they run towards you, and they start to play with the stripes, and they seem to be very happy together.
Oh, well, Prim, it looks like Stripes has a couple of friends.
We'll see. We'll see.
What are these? What colors are these kittens? What do they look like?
What would you like them to be?
Oh, I'm an orange tabby.
I was
cat
about to
fan.
say orange.
Me too. So these are 2 orange tabby kittens, and they seem to be very energetic.
All right, well, one of you come here, and Cassie's gonna pick one of them up, and she's gonna lift it and put it on top of her hat. She's got like feathers up there that it can play with, and she's like, "You are gonna stay up here, because I don't want you to get lost on a walk. We're going to a scary mansion. You gotta be prepared, little guy."
Okay, so please roll a fauna friendship. Is it fauna? Yes. Fauna friendship, please.
16.
Oh, that's really nice. So yeah, so the kitten just you put it on your head and they go like they start kind of like tapping your head, and after a moment they just stay calm and quiet and they just enjoy the ride. Oh no. Is that a
Albert
fun?
tries to make friends, but frogs and cats, it's an 8.
Okay, so you go pick up the other kitten and you try to kind of like pet it. What do
I
you
know what it
do?
is.
Uh-huh.
He's a frog. He's always just a little bit wet. There's always a little bit of water.
So what do you do with this kitten? How do you approach it?
I think he goes slowly, it's not that he's bad at making friends with animals. It's just that maybe this connection was not quite in the stars.
What? So as you reach towards the kitten, you realize that the kitten goes like, have you seen these cats, these kittens that kind of like stand off on their hind legs, and the kitty goes like that, and it starts to kind of like trying to wrestle your hand, but it's not really hurting you or anything. It's just like playfully. So you can see that you can keep it and he likes you, but he's gonna be kind of like hyperactive.
Yeah, that tracks for a kitten. Obviously, of the two orange cats, the other one is the one that has the brain cell.
Yeah.
Arnold, what are you gonna name your little guy?
Yeah, I have to think about that. What's yours?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go on a whim and name him after a buddy of mine. I'm gonna call him Jack.
How do you feel about being Frost, little friend?
Oh, that's very seasonally appropriate.
Frost, Jack and Frost. So Jack and Frost, the kittens. Very good, very good. I thought you were gonna go with the a theme of stripes, but that's fine.
Stripes
Maybe if we get another raccoon.
What? If
Give
we
us
get
more
another
critters.
donation? Okay, so yay, you have 3 pets now. This is really nice. That's why I like this game. Yeah, so you make your way towards the Midnight Manor, and I'm gonna take something. So this little town is really kind of cozy and nice, and you see that they have a lot of uh bright buildings and different colored roofs, and a lot of trees and plants and flowers and everything. And as you approach the Midnight Manor, and you cannot miss it, you see that this is a very different building. It's dark. It's kind of like a Gothic architecture or something like that. And you as you approach it, and you sense that there is more to this whole house than meets the eye. And you can hear a flutter as a tiny fuzzy a group of bats fly across the street, the sky. You see a large tree that dominates half of the yard, and some ivy that climbs its way up to up the corners of the house. You see that there are no lights in the house. The windows are shut and coated in a layer of dust. And you notice that it's been a while since anyone has lived here. You see, it has metal fence, which is kind of like how do you say, like very kind of like bend, and you see the door is kind of like hanging on the hinges, and yeah, that's what you see. It's very spooky. It's kind of like eerie.
I'm holding the postcard out in front of me. Okay, Manor House, I have a present for you. I have some mail. It's addressed to you as a house. Hello.
You hear and feel a kind of like a gust of wind, and nothing else. And you actually look for a mailbox, and you see that it's sitting on the ground, kind of like it was bent, like kind of it was knocked, and you see it's kind of like as if something stepped on it, and it's just flat.
That person should get a fine. You shouldn't be allowed to topple mailboxes.
Right to jail.
Where am I supposed to put this when the mailbox is flattened on the ground?
Well, if we're brave enough, does it have a mail slot in the door?
So you would have to cross the yard to arrive at the door, and you see this very big and carved wooden door. It looks, yeah, big and heavy and thick, and you see it has two handles, but nothing else. You don't see any other mailbox or anything mail related.
Before we go in, as we have discovered, Albert is not terribly good at fauna friendship, making friends with animals. He is somewhat better at flora friendship. So I'm wondering if I think he at least stops to say hello to the spooky old tree.
Okay. So flora friendship, you use it when you have plants that can communicate. In this case, I think you would use gardening, but you can totally say hi to the old tree. You see that it's not how do you say it? It's not dead, but it's that kind of tree that it's really resilient. But it has no leaves at this time of year, of course.
I think Albert's assumption is that every plant he meets is smart enough to talk back. It's just that many of them aren't terribly interested in having a conversation with the frog.
Okay, I like it. Sure, make a roll.
Just to be clear, are we going flora friendship or are we going gardening?
Well, I guess you could roll a flora friendship. Just as I mentioned, you wouldn't get any answer,
Yeah.
but maybe you're just imagining it. Oh my god! So yeah, you approach a tree and you kind of put a hand on it and you say, "Hello, old friend," and it does not answer back. But you see that it's
trees aren't always chatty.
Yeah. Well, maybe
they have enough time to be able to be picky about who they talk to.
And you see that this tree has been here for a very long time. It's a very, very old tree. It's really tall. And it's got a bunch of marks in the trunk and everything.
Hey, Stripes. How about you go look it out. You go up by the door, see if it's okay.
Scope it out for us, pal.
So you want Stripes to go kind of like knock on the door or something? Or just
look,
scratch it?
Just like look, see what the vibes are.
Okay. So sure. So Stripes kind of like looks at you and then starts walking kind of like little by little, and then right in the middle he turns back and looks at you, and then he kind of like runs to the door and starts scratching it.
Well, if that was any
Not
sign
too
that we're good to
scared.
go.
Yeah, he's not very scared at all. So
Jack, how do you feel up there? She kind of pats her hat.
You feel the purr, and Jack is kind of like spread on top of your head, taking a nap.
He's just like kind of, I imagine because she's a snootling and her nose is so long that he started to like lay down and his
Yeah.
little paws are reaching out on the nose.
very cute.
Well,
Come
that
along,
makes me
Frost.
feel safer.
Frost just scampered along behind us.
So what would you like to do now?
I'll fly up to the door, like
Okay.
hovering next to Stripes.
Yeah,
And you
Cassie
said
will
it's like
follow close
off its
behind.
hinges, or did you mean the gate
The
door
gate,
was
yeah.
off its okay, okay.
Right. This is a very solid door, and you can infer it hasn't been opened in a while. And you see it has kind of like a dust on top of it, and you see on the porch where Stripes is scratching the door, you see there are no other kind of like paw prints or footprints other than those of Stripes.
Okay, well, Dowood's been here for a very long time. Surprised the mail hasn't collected. But
Prim, when you deliver mail, have you ever gone into
I'm not
somebody's
allowed to go
house,
in the
or
house.
is that forbidden?
I'm not
That's breaking
allowed
an entry.
to go in the house. If the person invites like sometimes people will invite me in for a lemonade, and that's okay. But no one so far has invited us in for a lemonade. I'm not allowed to go, on my honor, I'm not allowed to go into the house.
I was just wondering because I mean, Stripes wants us to go in.
Well, you know what? Stripe isn't an official mail carrier,
That is
so
true.
Stripes
That
could
is,
go
he is
in.
not employed for some purposes. He has no job.
I think I should
Is there
make him an
enough
official
room
mail
under the
carrier.
door that we could slide the postcard underneath, or is it nicely weatherproof?
I think it would have been possible maybe when it was built, because now with the weather, the when it gets water, it kind of like I don't know how to say it, that it's heavily damaged, so
It like
maybe
swollen.
swollen, right?
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Hold on. We haven't tried the first rule, which is knocking.
That is true. We have not done that yet.
So before I break my solemn oath, I think we should knock.
I wouldn't want you to be breaking sacred mail carrier rules.
Okay. Is there a door knocker?
Yeah, you see a door knocker, a very big one and heavy one.
Tick, tick. Okay.
Yeah, so you knock and you actually hear the echo. You kind of hear the echo coming from your left for some reason. But it kind of like echoes for a while, and then it goes quiet, and Stripes looks at you. And
House,
nothing
I
happens.
once again ask you to accept your postcard, or I will have to enter.
Nothing happens.
Oh no.
You know, my mom taught me that if you want to make a new friend, you do something nice for them. And so he's going to walk back across the yard, back to the gate. And one of his special abilities is patch up. 3 times a day, he can make minor repairs to a non-magical item he'd like to fix the gate.
Nice. Okay, go ahead. So what do you do? How does it look?
Um, I think there's an awkward moment as he's juggling the goggles and the glasses, because the glasses are good for wits, but the goggles are what he has always used when he was making things. And then he pulls out his tools and he gets to work. In our world, I'm picturing French and WD-40 and all that kind of stuff. I am not sure exactly what Albert uses, but it's the same general gist.
Nice. And do you is there kind of like a visual effect, like a magical effect? Because this is magic after all.
Yeah, I think it starts out like a normal kind of repair, and then suddenly it's done. It kind of skips the middle stages where the actual work is being done step by step.
Okay. So you take a moment to repair the door, and you are actually in your element. You are really enjoying this, and you are like, oh, well, hello, old house. I'm gonna help you. And you take a few moments, and when you finish, this door looks good as new. And it kind of looks out of place. It is kind of like a old decrepit mansion, but the door is really nice.
Oh, Arnold, that is lovely work. Best craftsmanship
Absolutely
I've ever seen.
fantastic. Fantastic.
What do you think, House?
So there's as you say, what do you think, house? And for a moment nothing happens, and you see kind of like a, I don't know if there's a name for kind of like a group of bats. Is it
I'm
like
sure
a
there
flock?
is, but I don't know if there's like
I have to know now.
So you see a group of bats and
a colony.
okay. So a colony of bats flying through the dusk sky, and you hear like a gust of wind, and you feel like a chill air, and suddenly you feel how one tiny fur ball collapses towards your face, and you feel like a hug on your face, and then you go like, oh, what's happening, and you pull it out from your face, and you see it's a bat, a tiny bat, and that's for a donation of $10 from Professor Pisage. I don't know the reference, I'm sorry, but thank you so much for the donation, Professor Pisage.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Stripes named this one. I think Stripes just chitters, and I go, I guess that's the name. The name is a raccoon chitter.
It's how? It's what?
like a little
I can't do this. Yeah. We can call it chitters.
Chitters.
We
Okay,
can
that's a
call the
very
bat
good.
chitters.
Aren't you just the cutest little winged guy? We have a
Okay.
whole troop. We have a whole troop hunting down this ghost.
I know.
I've
Maybe,
never felt safer.
what if the ghost wants a pet?
That's true.
We have a lot to offer.
Mhm.
A little ranch with his purple flowers. It's a possibility.
I think that's great. But the house is still not answering us.
I know.
No, you don't see any movement from inside or outside for that matter.
Prim, I have bad news about your sacred mail carrier oath.
I know. I felt it coming. I felt it coming. I feel like if it's an abandoned house and no one actually lives there, I'm not breaking the vow.
That's a good logic.
If you if you would feel better if I'm the one who twists the door handle. You
I
can turn
would feel
away.
a lot better.
All right, you can turn
If the
away,
door's open, I can pretend it's not there.
walk backwards maybe.
No. I'll turn around and then you can open the door.
While they're having this conversation, Arnold kind of his mind wanders for a moment. And one of his skills that he's good at is random facts. According to, he names some statute that you've never heard of, because none of us have ever really heard of statutes, but it's okay to enter a house to do a wellness check. So we're checking on the wellness of the house, right?
That is true.
Listen, you both are giving me a lot of logic I like here. So I'm gonna still turn around. I'm not gonna open the door. But then I'll walk in because I'm making sure everything's okay.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you.
A good
very
compromise.
much.
Cassie hypes herself up. And she puts her little clawed hand on the door. She kind of flinches. She turns it.
And as you try to turn it, you feel like it's actually locked, and you try to push it, and you try to move it, and it won't budge. It's really, really heavy, and it's most definitely stuck.
So, Prim, good news about that sacred oath.
You said that there was an echo from our left. Is there an open window?
So if you go check, you actually so the porch is kind of like on the back, and this window is kind of like near I don't know what's it called. It makes like a like a bend, and you actually have to go back to the main path, and you turn to your left or to your right because you're coming from the house, and you see that the first window it was shut, but someone took off the last two kind of like boards, and it's barely open, and you see that someone missed the dust layer on it.
Somebody has already been here, but just not through the front door.
And ghosts don't generally leave footprints, I think.
I would agree with that, though I haven't necessarily met a ghost before. I'm envisioning when I'm thinking about a ghost, all right? I'm envisioning something blue and translucent in the shape of whomever passed, able to float through things. Are we all thinking of the same type of thing?
Yeah.
Arnold,
Now more
I feel
than
like
ever.
maybe you aren't. I feel like maybe you have a different idea for a ghost.
They're all thinking of a ghost frog.
Well, I would love a ghost florist, to be honest with you. And now more than ever, I kind of wish that I was incorporeal and could float through walls. It would certainly help with the locked door situation.
Well, we do have an open window.
That's true.
And when light gives you open windows, I don't think that's a saying.
You just jump right through.
Oh, you finished it.
Heard that one plenty of times.
I just forgot.
So you're gonna try to open the window. It's just a kind of like very open at this point.
Maybe we all
Arnold
put
hops
our
up on
hands
the
on
windowsill and scrambles in.
Okay.
Go, Arnold, go.
Okay, so Arnold is trying to climb and trying to open it, and it's kind of stuck because it's been a while since I mean it's been used recently, but you see that it's really damaged because of time and lack of maintenance. And as you're doing that, you hear a voice behind you that says, "Hey guys," and it kind of it startles you because you were not waiting, you were not expecting this, and you kind of stop for a moment and you turn around and you see two tiny finfolk children, and these the finfolk is an ancestry of people that come from the sea. They, if you want to imagine them, they are some sort of fish people. They have like a fins and scales, I think it's the name. And you see two small girls. You see they are twins because they look the same, with a bright orange skin, and they go like, "Hey, are you investigating the ghost?"
I promise that I have yet to break any oath I have made for the mail, and but we are on a mission, so yes, we're looking for the ghost.
Have you two seen the ghost?
And they go like, "Yes," at the same time. And this is actually another donation from Jinx of $20. Thank you so much. We have $90 so far. Thank you so much, guys. So these are two friendly NPCs, and they go like, "Yes, we have seen the ghost. Well, my sister Sol has." And Sol goes like, "Oh yes, I saw the ghost because I couldn't sleep the other night, and I was kind of looking at the window, and I'm really happy because it's gonna be the holiday, and I was kind of like, this is my favorite holiday, but all the grown-ups are kind of like, maybe we should go to the holiday." And I was like, "No, I want my holiday. I want me songs." And then I saw the ghost. I swear I saw it. I think it was a ghost. Is a purple sheet a ghost?
You know, we have heard a common theme with purple. I would not put it past this ghost to be a purple sheet.
Well, I think it was the ghost because the next morning Daddy found a flower in the garden and he did not plant that one.
That
See,
does check
here's the
out.
thing. Here's the thing. I have heard of celebrations in which people dress like ghosts. And I wonder if that's what I wonder if we're not finding a true real ghost, but we're finding somebody pretending to be a ghost.
The kids look at each other, like kind of like, and Sol goes to say, "No, I definitely think it was a ghost. It was probably a ghost. I think it was a ghost. I would like it to be a ghost."
Well, you
And
might be right. I don't have any sheet with me to show what it would look like. So you might be right.
Now, do you two happen to know if the ghost would live here in the manor? And if so, how do they get inside their house? Or where do they keep the key?
and one of the girls points at Arnold and says, "Weren't you just breaking in?"
No, like I said, no oaths were broken.
No.
The window was already open.
This is true.
Then it's okay to go in. Well, my sister Sol and I actually came because well, Sol told me about the ghost. I didn't see the ghost. And Sol goes to say, "Don't worry, Anna, you're gonna see it the next time." And Anna goes like, "Oh, okay. But we think we have an idea."
Oh,
And and Nekola, I need some roll 20 right now because I'm gonna explain some things, please. And let me check. Okay, let me see if this focuses your roll 20 on the Astras. On roll 20, yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so there are 5 types of magic in the world of TeaTime Adventures, and all people and holidays and things are associated with one type of Astra. So Flourish Astra is for people. It basically means growth and potential, and people attuned to Flourish Astra tend to be hardworking, and they tend to like gardening a lot. Then there's Ripple, which is that was the sorry, that was Flourish. It's the green one. It's the one of the tree leaf, well, the green leaf. Then we have Ripple Astra, which is basically attuned to water, and it's nurturing and connection. Then we have Flame Astra, which is for like a kind of like a intense, very, very passionate people. And it's about hard work and well-made things. I think actually Arnold is attuned to Flame Astra, so that checks out. And then we have Twilight Astra, which is something more kind of like mystic. People attuned to these Astra tend to be mediums sometimes, and they tend to be very empathetic and understanding of other people. And finally, we have Storm Astra, which is the yellow one. It means power, strength, and momentum. It's for people that cannot stay quiet and they are always doing something. So with that in mind, Anna goes to say, everybody thinks this is some kind of Twilight Astra thing, but Sol and I think that's not right. We think this is a ritual of Flourish Astra. And then Sol goes like, yes, because it involves flowers, and these flowers have not bloomed yet. Maybe they're waiting for something.
Flourish was one of the words that
That's
we found.
true. In the story. Prim, didn't you also have a theory about why the flowers hadn't bloomed yet? Or trying to get them to bloom?
I said that I knew of a woman who sang in her garden, and I said that maybe we should sing those words that were circled.
I think your theory might actually have some truth to it, if these kids are right.
Most of the time I found that kids are right.
Yeah.
And as you say, you mentioned the words that are circled, and the girls, Anna goes to say, oh yeah, the words in the book. We went to see Miss B right before,
You circled
right
them?
after you.
Oh,
Oh
good.
no, they were already like that. But did you notice that some of them rhyme?
Yeah, because I said I like the ones that rhyme.
Yeah, it seems to me like it's some sort of ritual, Sol says. And Anna goes like, oh yeah, I think that too.
Arnold, you doing okay in the window up there, buddy?
Is Arnold still trying to open the window?
I am assuming that he's been. Well, you tell me. He was in the process of crawling in through the window when the kids arrived, so I'm not sure whether he's inside and not part of the conversation, or if he backed out and
you can still hear the conversation. It actually takes you a couple of minutes to fully open it enough for you to go through, and you finally manage it. And as you're pushing a little bit, and then it kind of like opens all the way up, and you fall to the other side, and you're like, I'm fine, and you get up, and you are inside the house.
yeah.
And
Unless there's anything
like,
that immediately catches my eye, I think I'm making my way around to the front door to let the others in.
Let us in.
So you find yourself in some sort of living room. You see it's a huge living room. You see a fireplace, and you see some sofas and chairs all covered in blankets, and you see a tiny kind of like a coffee table, and you see a lamp on top of it, and it kind of like catches your eye because it seems to be, you see a lot of color on it, and you notice that it has no dust on top of it, like it's recently been placed here. And if you want to go open the door, you go to the foyer and you try to open the door, and it won't budge. I mean, you could try to open it by force, but it's gonna be kind of like a difficult roll, and you may damage the door, kind of like just bust it open.
Could I use my patch up magic that I used on the gate? Since obviously the door is not functioning properly, being jammed as it is, can I? Is that something I can fix?
I think you would be able to do that. It would take you a couple of minutes, so.
Which explains why he's been gone while those conversations going on. Cool.
Okay, so yeah, so you just hear this thud, and you turn around, and Arnold goes like, "I'll be right back," and then you have this conversation with the girls, and then after a while, so you perform your magic spell, and you are sure this door is fixed. I mean, it looks kind of like the same, but kind of like a nicer. And you pull the handle and twist it, and it kind of like stucks a bit, and then you push the door, and it finally opens with a very creepy creak, and it goes all the way to the door, and you hear another thud, and it echoes, and yeah, you open the door. And do you call your friends to come over?
I'm kind of guessing they heard the of the door.
Yeah, you definitely hear the thud.
I don't like that. That could be the ghost.
And one of the girls kind of like leans, and she says, "Oh no, it's your friend. He opened the door."
My friend is a ghost?
Arnold, you're
I
a
don't know.
ghost?
Are you a ghost?
Well, I think we made friends with a ghost, maybe. But
Oh, but you're not a ghost.
That's not me.
Okay. Oh, it's okay. It's whew. Arnold, I thought the ghost was coming for us.
Okay.
Prim,
I'm glad it's you.
Prim, does this count as an invitation?
Absolutely not, but I think I've decided it has to happen.
Sacrifices have to be made.
We're
As
on
the
a
current
mission.
resident of this house, I invite you in.
Oh, there we
Loophole,
go.
I like it.
Yeah, one of the girls goes like, "Oh, nobody lives there. I think they are not using it anymore. Well, good luck, guys. We're gonna be back home because it's getting late, and Dad wants us to take a shower before the party. So, bye.
It was
One of
nice to
them-
meet you, kids. Be safe now.
You too. And please tell us if you see the ghost." Yells Soul as they start to leave. And so Prim and Arnold opens the door for you, and Prim and Cassie, you stand in front of the door, and you see behind Arnold this very, very dark foyer, and you see these sunlight rays of the dusk sky coming through the dust in the windows, and you see kind of like a table and some chairs and stuff like that, all covered in dust. And we're gonna take a pause, a 5-minute pause, or 5-10 minutes pause, and we'll be right back after that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are in the middle of Tea Time Adventures with our amazing cast here today. Your producer, Nekola, I'm just here to remind you that we are doing a charity stream. And so, exclamation point donate in the chat. We have some amazing incentives, including our most popular so far. For $10, you can gift the party a pet. We're up to 4 pets right now. And let's just see how many we can get because this is so cute and I love it. I am going to start rambling. So instead, I'm going to pass it back over to Claudia.
Thank you. Okay, so when before the break, we were with our characters standing in front of this open door on this midnight manor. And so yeah, I described, you see the foyer, it's really dark in there because all the windows are shut. It's covered in dust. You see some furniture covered with white sheets. And what do you do?
So are all of the sheets ghosts?
I was
or-
gonna say, do you need me to demonstrate how people dress up like ghosts?
I would love that.
Okay,
I would love to
great.
throw a ghost themed party one of these days. I think it would be a really cost effective way to get costumes.
I pull. Oh, go ahead.
You should know. And he's pointing toward the room he just came from. I saw one lamp and table and lamp that didn't have dust on it, so somebody's been here.
Oh, well, that is terrifying.
So maybe we save ghost experimentation for a different day.
Oh,
Maybe.
we
Oh,
can
I mean, I could do it.
multitask.
Okay, well, I guess I'll put. Okay, here's how it goes. So I grab a sheet off of one of the nearest things, and I just put it over myself.
Oh, so as you pull this sheet, the dust layer on it just goes flying on the roof, and you hear one of the kittens kind of sneeze. I think it would be Jack on top of Cassie's head. He sneezes, and Stripes goes to kind of like scratch his own nose, kind of like ah. And yeah, so you put it on. It's really, really dirty, and you notice it hasn't been moved in a while. And you see behind it a couple of chairs, really nice, old-fashioned, kind of expensive chairs. And yeah, so you're now a ghost.
That's it.
I am so impressed. I have never seen this before.
Some people cut holes in it so you can see through it, but I can't see anything currently.
Well, there's not much to see. It's okay.
Did you get any of that dust in your nose?
I
Get
think.
back here.
Oh,
You're
there was
sniffing up a
dust. Oh,
storm.
nope. I'm
Don't breathe.
ignorant. So the dust flew out apparently to you guys, and I'm cool as a cucumber.
I love it. Well, maybe if you're dressed as a ghost and we run into the ghost, poor guy won't be so freaked out when he sees us.
Okay, but I can't see anything.
That is also true. So you would not know if we see the ghost.
Correct.
You would just have to take our word for it.
Okay. I can see now. It was a little hot in there too.
A little stuffy.
Yeah.
Okay, Arnold. The lamp, you said it was in that room over there?
Right, this way.
All right, I'll follow you. Cats, bat, raccoon, you all here?
They'll follow you. You still have Jack on top of your head. He's really comfortable there. And I think Arnold was trying to. I guess Frost would be on maybe on Arnold's shoulder, and he would be constantly trying to chew the goggles, and Arnold would like no, don't do that. And Stripe is following Prim, and you have a cute bat hovering on top of your heads, and he would sometimes land on one of your shoulders, heads. So yeah, so you go to the next room where you originally where Arnold entered, and you see just as Arnold did, you see this very big living room. You see a huge marble fireplace, cold and empty, of course, and you see several coffee tables and end tables and chairs and sofas, all covered in these white sheets as well. And then you see closer to the door, kind of like on the side of one of the sofas, you see an end table which is not covered in a sheet, but you see it has a very very thick layer of dust, and on top of it, just as Arnold said, you see kind of one of those kind of like lanterns that you have to put a candle on them, and you see it has a candle which is kind of like it has been lit before, it's half consumed. And you also noticed a bunch of footsteps on the floor that disturbed the layer of dust, but you cannot make kind of like heads or tails of it. They just go all over the place.
Does anybody see any matches around that we could maybe light this thing up with? Maybe retrace the steps?
I don't carry any matches in my bag because that could put the bail in danger.
That is understandable.
I get into enough trouble with some of my projects without messing with fire.
I do have acorns. Can you rub acorns together and light something?
I can certainly try.
Well, if you want to.
Claudia.
I got multiple, but here are two.
She takes them.
Sure, you can let's say what would you like to do? Like labor maybe? I mean, labor is
Yeah.
but it's gonna be like a difficult of 8 or something. I don't think it would be that hard.
Okay, I'm gonna use I have a +2 to bustle, so I'm gonna use
Nice.
my bustle to try and do this. I rolled a 9.
Oh dear. Okay, so so you start kind of like rubbing them together, and it takes you kind of like a minute passes, and Arnold and Prim are looking at you, and Stripes looks at you, and the kittens look at you, and nothing happens, and then kind of like you start like smelling the smoke, and you see a small flame starts, and you see that you can use it to light the candle, but it's gonna extinguish quickly, so you have to hurry.
Right. Toasted acorns, anybody? And she is gonna light the candle really fast.
Yeah, so you light the candle, and you notice that as you touch the outside of the candle, the lantern, sorry, I forgot the word. The lantern, which is metal, and you touch it and you see it's really, really cold. Like it has been used recently, maybe earlier today or yesterday, but it's been a while now. And yeah, you light the lantern, and you have a light source now, and you can see it because you actually can see now the corners of the room. You see kind of like a empty pot, or like a I forgot the name of the things that Link likes to break.
Oh,
Like in Zelda Link?
Yeah.
like
yeah.
big vases and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
so a vase.
Okay.
That's the word. So, sorry, I forgot the word. So yeah, you see kind of like the things you would find in very big fancy houses. So yeah, you notice that kind of stuff, and but nothing of notice, just old dusty stuff.
Well, none of
Are
this
there
looks very ghost-like to me.
are there any footsteps leading through the dust elsewhere in the house?
So you can follow them kind of like around the sofas and to the end table, to the fireplace, and then you see that a couple of trails, because it seems that there are several trails on top of others, and you follow them. There's the door you came from that leads to the foyer, and there's another door on the other side of the living room that also leads to the foyer, and it leads to it's in front of another door, and if you kind of like push it open, you see there are not steps going there, but if you push it open, you see a very large ballroom, and you see a bunch of tables and chairs all covered in sheets as well. And then you see some other trails going all the way to the door again, and you kind of see like the direction of the shoe. You see that they went from the door to the inside, and like back and forth. And you notice there are some stairs as well, and you follow the trail and you see two stairs. One goes down, two staircases. One goes down, and the other one used to lead upstairs, but it's completely collapsed.
Maybe down?
Should I call out again about the mail that I have to deliver?
Maybe a little reminder.
Yeah, I'll
I mean,
call
if they're
down the
downstairs, maybe they
Yeah.
can hear us.
And maybe we don't want to scare them.
Right.
Hello down there. If you are the current inhabitant of this residence, I have a piece of mail for you that I would like to personally deliver. Can you hear me?
And you're like, you hear me. You hear the echo, because it's a kind of like a very big house, and it is not that full of furniture, so it echoes a lot. And when the echo fades, there's silence again, and nothing happens.
Okay, maybe we should go down.
Stripes, lead the way, buddy.
Okay, so Stripes look at you, and then he kind of like takes a few steps down, because obviously these steps are higher than he is. And you notice that the staircase that used to lead upstairs is made of wood, but this one is made of stone. And as you step down, and who is holding the lantern? I guess you would.
Probably. I mean, I lit it, so I imagine that she'd probably pick it up as well.
Okay, so Cassie follows Stripes down the stairs, and you reach a stone door. Like it's not really a door, it's kind of like a slab. And it's closed.
Hold on. Arnold is coming slowly down the stairs. Stairs are tricky when you have flippers.
Stopping, holding.
Okay. So Stripes turns around and looks at you, expecting.
Yep, just interjecting for fun. He's following along. He's just a little bit slow.
Oh, we were just waiting for you. Stripes, stop being so impatient.
He's a scrappy guy. He's got places to be.
He does have places to be.
Stripes goes to scratch the door while looking at Arnold.
And you said that this door is more of kind of like did you say that it was stone, or?
Yeah, it's kind of like a slab of stone.
Does it look like there's any kind of ridges that we could like push it, or is it pretty
Are you
flat?
trying to push it?
Or pull it? What do you all think?
You don't definitely do not find kind of like a way to pull it, but you if you push it, you notice that it kind of like it opens as a door. It's heavy, but you can open it without any problem.
Well, I think if we all band together, pets included, she points at all the little guys, I think we could probably push it open, no problem.
I don't
Cassie's
have
gonna-
anything against this door. We're already in the house.
Cassie's gonna get ready.
Great.
Little clawed hands on door.
So you try to open the door while holding the lantern on the other hand.
How small is the handle of the lantern? I feel like she'd probably have to put it down next to them.
Yeah, I think you could.
Okay, yeah, she'll set it down next to them and then get ready for some pushing.
Okay, so you start pushing it and you find that it's heavy, but you find really no resistance, and it opens, and as soon as there's a enough of a gap, stripes kind of like goes through, and you kind of like lose sight of him for a while, for a moment, and you finish opening the door, and you see some stairs going down as well. They descend to a narrow path, and you see that it's lined by some hedges. Like you see actual hedges, like you see plants, and you see that the floor is made of is stone and dirt, and you kind of figure out that you are below the house, and you are probably in the cellar of the house. And you notice that this area somehow is not dark, and you see a dim purple light, and you see that the hedges have some mushrooms sprouting from them, and you recognize them. These are glow shrooms, and that's where the light is coming from.
Does this look like a place that existed and a house was built on top of it? Or does this look like somebody found this house and excavated underneath it?
Would you like to let's roll a local lore, all of you?
Okay.
Sorry, we're rolling
Local lore or
local
daydreaming.
lore. Okay, yeah, I just didn't hear clearly.
I got a 10.
I got a 13.
Nine.
Nine. Okay. So it's not really clear to you, because you know some houses build their cellars first, and then they build the rest of the house. But you do notice that, did you remember that Miss V told you that the former owners of this home, when they built it, would take barrels of dirt out of the house before they disappear? And you see that the floor is just dirt, like they kind of like excavated and probably built the house um kind of like kind of afterwards or before. You're not really sure, but then you check the hedges, and they look really nice and trim and taken care of and nourished.
Is it normal for glow shroom hedges to grow like underground in the dark, or is there some kind of magic going on here that plant life is able to thrive?
Would you like to roll gardening for that?
Guess I can do that. Not exactly something I'm terribly good at, but +1. Yeah, 10. Not awful.
I think a 10 would be enough for you to realize that mushrooms grow in dark and cold places, so that's no surprise. But these hedges, you imagine that for these hedges to grow and to stay alive, someone would have to kind of like work really hard to take care of them constantly.
Well, this all looks pretty well maintained down here, doesn't it? Also, the purple is back again. We've got a purple glow going on down
It's a
here.
common theme.
Is my lantern still lit?
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe we should get a closer look.
All those flowers down here.
There, no, you see glow shrooms growing in the hedges.
No
But none of the
flowers.
purple flowers.
Oh, you don't see any flowers here.
Do glow shrooms glow enough and remain glowing if you pick them to like take one along as a light source?
I mean, you could. I mean, I guess you could. Are you trying to? Are you gonna do that?
I- I'm just. I guess I'm wondering if I know anything about them, but I guess that would be part of that that 10 for gardening. I don't know whether it's glowing is something they only do live on the hedge, or I don't know.
I guess you would know that. I mean, this is not really gardening, but since you are attuned to magic, you would know that these are not like common plants.
Okay.
And by the way, I see that I mentioned that there are some hedges, but you actually went down the stairs and you find a hedge on each side of you and in front of you. And if you want to go left or right, you realize that this is some sort of kind of like a maze made of hedges, and you see these glowshrooms all over the place. And would you roll noticing for me, please?
All of us?
Yes.
I rolled a 2.
Oh no.
It's a very humble 2.
I got a 19.
Oh well.
12, right in the middle.
Oh, okay. So I guess Cassie is kind of like distracted at the moment. And then Prim and Arnold notice that Stripes is kind of like scratching again on the floor. And as you approach him, you notice that there is kind of like a pendant on the floor. Now you see this pendant is kind of like a chain, and the pendant it's a necklace, and the pendant is in the shape of a mushroom, and it looks it's a purple mushroom, and it looks a lot like these mushrooms.
I think usually people wear those, so I think somebody might have lost it.
Arnold picks it up with the hope that maybe we can return it to them. We meet them.
Oh, okay, Arnold, as you pick the pendant up, you notice that this is also a magic item, and you recognize it instantly. This is called a pendant of whispers. And you know that you have to wear it, and while you wear it, you may communicate telepathically with fungi of all types for up to 15 minutes each day.
Ooh.
Okay. Sure. Puts it on, says hello.
Are you saying hello to any
To the glow
particular
shrooms.
mushroom, or okay? So do you say just say hello like in general, like hello mushrooms?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't met any of them individually yet, so.
Okay. So you say hello, and you hear like a little voice that says hello, hello, and you hear kind of like many voices speaking at the same time, and you hear them all in your head, and you hear like hello, 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 go, yeah, keep going, you're fine, you're fine.
Do you know if there's do you know if there's a ghost that lives here? You know about
Oh,
ghosts.
she's no ghost. She's no ghost. She's just like you.
Like me.
Like you, like all of you. And then you hear again. I guess they would say like, yeah, she's like you, like all of you, especially like you. You hear in your head.
I'm passing the conversation, such as it is, along to my friends who may or may not believe me that I can hear mushrooms now.
Cassie's also once again gonna be like, "Are we sure that you're not a ghost, Arnold?"
Oh, not unless that last experiment went even more poorly than I thought it did.
What a way to find out, right? Well, do you think you could ask the mushrooms how we can navigate this maze? It's going to be a tough time wrangling the little guys back here.
Fair enough. I pass the question along.
Okay. So so you pass the question and you hear these voices say, "Oh, password, you need a password, you need the password, you need the passwords to the gate, to the gates, keep going, keep going." And if you kind of like keep going, you can still communicate with the fungi for a while you walk, and you take a left. You see that this is definitely a maze. You see you have kind of like different options, but at some point you take a left. You come to kind of like a crossroads, and you see a huge um purple barrier. It's a bit transparent. You can see that the maze continues on the other side, but you see this huge barrier, and but it covers the entirety of the maze, so you cannot kind of go through.
Don't suppose don't suppose any of you fun guys would happen to know what the password might be? I will take that as a no. Okay.
Okay, so you ask this question, and the mushroom goes, the passwords, the passwords. You have many passwords.
Okay. What? Like what?
And then they say, there's 6 passwords and 5 doors. And you can if you want, you can roll daydreaming.
Yep, that makes sense. Do I make a connection? Yeah. Good grief. Okay, that's 12.
Okay. Did you you can roll too? Sorry, Anna and Kenzie.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Rolled a 4.
Okay.
Cassie's
I
like in
also
the
rolled a 12.
background. Cassie's like in the background, like trying to keep the whole animal crew like in order.
Yeah,
She's
I
got
guess.
like 2 on her hat now. She's got 1 hanging off of her coat. She's
And you have the little bat. What was the name
He's
of
just
the bat?
swirling. Chitter. He's just
Chitters.
like, yeah, he's just flying in circles.
I guess he would really like to get in your coat pocket because there's a lot of light in here. And so yeah, you're very distracted, and but that's fine. since Arnold and Prem got a 12, I guess you would start thinking like 5 doors and 6 passwords. And you see that these doors are purple, and then you remember that you found 5 words circled in purple ink,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird.
So they did meet something, but we don't have to sing them.
You could try to sing them, and if you don't remember, I can
Oh
give them
no,
back
I
to you.
remember.
Okay.
Encourage.
Do you say it in so
Yeah.
if you say it
I walk up to the barrier. I say encourage. I don't know what order things are in, but
so you say encourage, and this barrier, you see how it starts to disappear, and the mushroom, you don't hear this, but you feel like they are cheering for you. They are very happy, and they are like, yes, yes, the password. And
okay.
yeah, so the barrier disappears, and you see more maze, and you see other kind of like the way it goes like left and right and right and left, and you after a moment arrive to a second purple barrier. And before you say anything, the mushroom goes like, password, the password.
Nourish.
As you say nourish, you see how this barrier also disappears, and you can continue on the maze. And after a moment, you at this point you don't really know where north or south is. You are very confused because you have to take a lot of left and right turns, and you arrive to a third purple barrier. And only Arnold hears the password, password.
Crops.
As you say crops, this barrier also disappears, and you can continue. And you also take more lefts and rights, and go back and continue, and you arrive to a fourth barrier, a purple barrier.
I think I might know this one. Flourish.
As you say flourish,
A
this
rhyme.
barrier also disappears, and you can continue. And you also have to navigate this maze, and you go through you are right at the fifth barrier, and you see other things in the back. If you approach the barrier before you say anything, you see some dark figures, like you stop seeing these hedges for a moment. And also the mushrooms go in Arnold's head, the password.
Spring.
Right, as you say spring. It was spring. Sorry, I lost it for a moment. Oh, good. Okay. So as you say, spring, this bear also disappears, and you see now, you see kind of like a big opening in this maze. You still see some hedges, but on the other side of a wide room you are in, and you see some you see a long table that is set with various kind of like you see kind of like a bottles of paint and sharp tools, and it's kind of like a mess. There's a lot of things just dumped on top of this table, like it looks like a workshop. But at the other side of the room, near the other side of near the other hedge, you see dark figures. And you cannot see them because they're really far away and dark, but they look like people that are standing there and not moving.
Can we tell how many of them there are?
You can count. You're not really sure because some of them seem to be on kind of like in front of others, but you can count like dozens of them. You can count like maybe 40 something.
Prim, do you think one of these might be the recipient of that postcard?
There's a lot of them, though.
I know.
Okay, I got it. I know how to do this. And Prim walks out a little bit towards this group.
Are you carrying the lantern?
I didn't have the lantern.
Okay.
Cassie will hand it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So you have the lantern.
Now I have the lantern.
And you start walking slowly towards this group of people?
Yes.
Okay. We have a $5 donation from Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. That's the perfect time for a donation. So you start walking slowly and you have these the lantern with you.
I have the lantern. I have the postcard.
You have the postcard and you have the lantern, and you kind of like try to scan the people, and you see like several sizes and ends and kind of like the silhouette of ancestries, and you see one that has antlers actually, and you start going there, and as you go there, you feel like the light kind of like dims, and you look at the lantern, and the lantern kind of like it seems like the flame is actually very small, and as you're looking at the candle, you hear like a loud thud, and a gust of wind blows the candle, and you see that in front of you one of these people kind of like fell flat on their face, and it falls at your feet, and you see it's actually kind of like a carving in a wooden plank or something. It's kind of like a cardboard cutting of a person, but made of wood.
I go up to another one. Is it the same?
So your lantern kind of like it's it blew because of
Okay.
the yeah, and you see I mean, so you're kind of like standing there. You can see them a bit clearly now that you are near them, and you see that some of them are painted in different colors and stuff like that, and as you're scanning them, you see yourself.
um, guys.
Did you find the recipient?
No, it's me. It's me.
You're the recipient?
No, but I. They're not alive. But one of them is me.
What?
And yeah.
There's no other way to describe it.
Cassie's gonna go over and also look at these like figures.
So you go there. Would you say Cassie would be taller than Prim?
Maybe about the same height.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go there and you go looking for this other Prim, and you're like, what are you talking about? And you can you cannot see very clearly until you approach because of the dim light, and then you're like looking at these people and you're like, what's happening? And then you see yourself as well, kind of like 2 or 3 people to the right of Prim, of the other Prim.
You know, this is very creepy, but also looks just like me. She does like a little pose.
Arnold will come and see if he's there too.
So you approach as well, and you go you stand near Prim and Cassie, and you also scanned these people, and you actually find yourself you are kind of like to the right of Prim, a couple of people to the right, and you see now that these are like wood carvings, and you see they are painted, and you see the person that did this is a very good artist. You actually look at your face and your goggles, and they look exactly like yours, only painted.
Okay, so it has the goggles. Does it also have the brand new today glasses?
Right. No, it only has the goggles.
Okay. Anybody else we recognize?
Yeah, you would see people you've seen. You don't know their names, but you see, for example, Mayor Mandescu. You see him over there. You see these elderly snoodling woman you found this morning, Bibbins. You see her there with her hat and everything, and you see some other people like the bartender at the inn you're staying in, and some other people you've met.
We only rolled into town a couple of days ago. This is impressive craftsmanship for have only really ever seeing us maybe once or twice.
Why is it happening?
I'm just melting down. Arnold, what do you think? You're the brains.
Never seen anything quite like this, though. He's checking out the details of the figures he recognizes. Trying to see if there's a pattern to, who's here and who's not. I'm assuming that there are more than 40 people who live in the town.
Do our pets also have wood carvings? Or is it just
Mm.
people?
You don't find any big wood carvings of animals or pets. Also,
That's insulting.
So these are kind of like leaning over the other wall from the other side of where you came, on the other side of the table, and you see kind of like empty cans of paint on the floor, and you see brushes and everything, and but other than that, you only see like the large table at the center of this opening and these carvings on the wall.
Is there anything significant about the table itself?
Would you like to roll I would say snooping.
Okay. Let me see what I have for that.
If you all want to roll, that's fine. You can do that. You can just tell me what you're checking.
I rolled like a 10. Yeah, a 10.
Okay. So you are looking at the table, and you see, as I mentioned, you on close inspection see some wood carving tools, some paint brushes, and kind of like seeds and empty pots and stuff like that. And you go exploring the table, and as you reach the other side of the table, you find a book, an old book, and it kind of you see the book, and you see it's really really old, and it looks about the same size of the loose page you never found the book from. And if you inspect it, it says The Legends and Fables at the Bend of Oak. That's the title. And if you want to check it, you get you if you open it, it opens on the that page, which is kind of like how do you say it? Like the bounding.
Mhm.
You see this blank page, and it in purple ink you see the words property of floor, and you go about the book and you see it's a very big book of tales. And as you are checking it, a piece of paper falls from it to the table, and as you pick it up, it says property of Oakenben Library on loan to, and you see a name, and there's only one name, and it says Grania Nixie.
Well, Arnold, I think I might have found our missing book.
Also, the flower name.
Oh, if I don't know if this is common knowledge, but flor, at least in Spanish, it means flower.
We didn't bring the page with us, right? It's back at the library.
I guess you could have borrowed it for a while if you promise to bring it back later.
Arnold, do you want to see if the size of the pages are a match?
Sure. So he's going to, compare it to where it's torn out of the book, and also look forward and back a couple of pages, see if there's a circle, if there's something circled nearby, if not on this particular page.
So you start going through the book, and at some point it kind of like opens by itself on a page that you infer someone reads often, and you actually find a page, and you see like kind of like the remainings of the loose page that was torn, and you see a word that is circled in purple ink. And Nekola, I'm gonna need again the roll 20 for this last prop. And here you go. That's loose page 7. I guess you would see that it's kind of loose, but it's still inside the book.
Should I finish reading the story?
Go right ahead, Prim.
Okay. All the crystal night blooms sprouting around the stone began to open. The center crystal in the center of each bloom shone bright, lit up by moonlight. Marigold and Anya watched as the refracting light from the crystals danced in a beautiful flourish pattern across the town and then finally settled on a nearby hill. Anya trailed her hand over the flourish astra symbol carved into the side of the stone and thanked those who came before for their wisdom. That's the place, my love. That's where we will plant our garden. The night blooms began to sway and bob in agreement, and the two deerkin clasped hands beneath the moonlight and danced together. Their garden bloomed and flourished for many seasons to come, guided by the wisdom asked for and answered. That is why every year our village gathers to celebrate the Feast of Flourish through planting and sharing our food with those who have come before, as well as each other. We let the guidance of Anya, Marigold, and our ancestors show us where our gardens grow best. And that's the final circled word. I got one now. Ancestors.
It's a good one to get.
Right. Would Prim and Arnold, would you like to check the table as well? Would you like to roll, or
I
are you okay?
rolled, but I want to check I know we saw paints on the table, but I want to see like if I can see how long these wooden things have been in production, the carvings. Like, is it just happened since we got to town? Is this been like years long project sort of thing, like by wear and tear stuff?
Okay, you can roll noticing.
Okay, noticing. That is a 19.
Oh wow, that's more than enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess you would really you would go about the these carvings, and you see some of them are kind of like finished and very well, very detailed, and you see the kind of like the shadows and lining in the paint and everything, and then you find some carvings that have some kind of like big chunks of paint, and if you touch it, you realize that some of them are not quite right yet, but they are about to. You would say that someone was here like I don't know, a few hours ago.
So we just missed them.
Can I do a minding details to check out anything we may have missed on the table?
Sure. You can sure.
Okay, it's an 18.
Okay, so an 18. Well, actually, you go through the table again. You found the book, and you actually pick things up and move them in until you see the clear table, and you actually find a small bag of it's a kind of like a fabric bag, and if you open it, you find some kind of some crystals like they would be the size of I don't know, like a nut, a walnut or something like that. And you see that these are they look like crystals. They are translucent and they are purple. And you can roll you see that they are very similar to each other, and you feel there's kind of like these are not kind of like man-made. You can roll a gardening check if you want. Anyone can roll gardening if you want.
Rolled a 16 that time.
Oh,
11.
oh.
10.
Okay, so it was not really that hard. As you are inspecting these crystals, you remember the flowers, and you realize that these are actually seeds. These are natural seeds, but very unusual. You had never seen anything like this before.
There's something really odd about these seeds, isn't there?
I'd have to agree with you.
They're not really quite like anything I've ever seen before, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't really know what we should do with them.
Well, I have a feeling those might be the purple flower seeds because the town didn't seem to have ever seen them before since they thought planting a flower was vandalism.
That is a good point. Arnold, what do you think?
Um, I know we had a book about seeds, but I don't remember anything about seeds made out of crystal.
Do you think it could have something to do with the magic, maybe the ritual that those kids were talking about?
Maybe.
I don't think it does it.
He's going to flip back to the page that we found at the library that fits into this this book, because we did leave off in the middle of a sentence, and see if that helps. So going back a couple of sentences, Marigold cooked a special meal that night, and she and Anya walked together up the hill to the Moonlight Stone. We've heard about where that is. Placing the tortillas and spiced sauce on the stone, they joined hands and asked those who came before where best to plant their garden. The glow of the moon illuminated the stone, and all the crystal night blooms sprouting around the stone began to open. The center crystal in the center of each bloom shone bright, lit up by moonlight. It sounds like there's something that you do. It sounds like there's something that you do at the graveyard that makes these bloom. If these are the crystal night blooms, seems to make sense.
I think I don't know if you remember, but maybe the head librarian mentioned something about Memory Hill, which is a place where people went to offer offerings at the altars back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And as you are discussing this, Cassie, you're talking like, what does it mean? What should we do now? And you feel a scratch on one of your shoes, and you feel that this scratch is kind of like slower than stripes. And this is a donation from Raider. Thank you so much. And they had a very specific request. They said that they wanted you to have, and you see, this is very specific. You see on your feet a tiny alligator scratching your foot.
A little version of me down there. She's gonna pick it up, put it on her shoulder.
Okay. It kind of like tries to climb your snoot.
I just have like a stack going on. It's like it's gonna be Cassie 2, and then Jack.
Nice.
Just a little casket, little pyramid.
And sometimes it's shitters.
Well, do you think maybe it's time for us to head to the
I
graveyard?
think that's where we originally thought the ghost was gonna be. So it's like we're going full circle.
A little bit. Well,
Okay. So we are approaching 3 hours, so I'm gonna skip ahead a moment. There's no anything else here. You explored everything in this home. You did not find the ghost, but you are on the right track. So you go out of the house. And you see that the sky is dark at this time. It's not that late. It's maybe 6-7 o'clock. But since it's fall winter, the nights are getting longer, the days are getting shorter. So it's pitch black outside, and you see the moon bright in the sky, and you actually I guess you would not miss the Memory Hill. It's right outside of town, and there are clear how do you say, signs that lead you to it. So you take you start going there. You pass homes that are illuminated and decorated. You hear the chatter, the music, the dancing, and you smell the food, the pies, and the warm sweets that people are baking, because it's the holiday today. It's it at its peak, but you have something to do first. So so perch above the village on a hill, and you can see this hill from the town, where starlight can most easily find it, sits Memory Hill. You see, as you arrive at Memory Hill, and you see there's a path going upwards, and you see headstones and stone labs on either side of the path. As you go up, you see markings on the stones and small caves decorated with flowers and trinkets that line the paths that leads up the hill. Some of the stones you notice that have been here for a very long time. Some are so very old that plants have begun to grow over their stones, and you can no longer distinguish the names on them. And as you ascend, you feel kind of like a peaceful feeling washing over you. And when you reach the very top of the hill, at the edge of the woods, you see one of these stone slabs, which is very, very big. It's bigger than any other that you've seen on your way up. And kneeling in front of this stone, you see a deer-kin person. You see that they are wearing a purple dress, and they have flowers and ribbons on the antlers. And as you approach, they hear you and they turn around, and you see this is a very old deer-kin woman with purple eyes that looks at you and smiles as you approach. Would you like to say anything first? Do you stop? What do you do?
I think Cassie gives kind of like I think Cassie's a little apprehensive because of all this ghost and purple business. But I think she gives a pretty confident wave, and she's like, I love your dress and your hat. The whole ensemble, absolutely stunning.
She responds with a very sweet voice. She's an elderly woman, and you notice that, but she's very warm, and she goes like, "Oh, thank you so much. I've been collecting this ever since I was a little girl, and I would love the gatherings in town. I would always pick the flowers as they started to bloom. Thank you so much. Are you here to honor our ancestors as well?" And as you approach her, you see that this stone slab, which is really it's way taller than her than her antlers, and you see it's divided in four. And just from where you are, you can distinguish symbols reflecting each season of the year. And you see, for example, the flourish astra symbol on the spring one, and so on.
I
And
think
yeah,
I think we could do that, but first, I have a postcard and you were on it. So I think it belongs to you.
she opens her eyes and she says, "May I see it?"
Sure. And I hand over it.
Do you take a look at it?
Yeah, I look at it. Is she still on it or no?
Yeah, you actually take the postcard, and you see the same wintry landscape, and you see her there. And if you flip it, you can see that it no longer says to Midnight Manor. It now says to floor of the southern marshes, Memory Hill, and that's kind of like the address, Memory Hill, numbers, etc., etc.
Your name is Floor, right?
She says, "Yes, that's my name. Thank you."
Then this is for you.
She takes it and smiles at you, and she says thank you, and she looks at it and she says, "Oh yeah, this is home. Well, this was home. I've been living there for a very long time, but I really, really wanted to come back to my birthplace, Oakenbend, before I pass on, because I feel like my time is ending soon." And then she smiles, and you feel this kind of warm again, this warmth. And she says, "But I'm really happy that someone is reviving these old rituals that we used to do when I was a little girl." And she says, "Look, even the flowers are blooming." And as she says this, you feel like a bright purple light shines behind you, and you turn around, and since you are on top of the hill, you can see the whole town from there. And you see that you would know at this point, because she pointed it, that these flowers that this ghost was planting on all over the town, from this perspective, you can see they make up the flourish astra symbol, and they are shining, and you're like, it's a sight to behold. It really is very beautiful. And as you turn back to floor, she is no longer there. And on the floor, you see like the ribbons and the flowers she had on her antlers, and you also see like a quill with fresh purple ink dripping from it. And for a moment, nothing happens. You feel like a gust of wind, and you hear the wind ringing in your ears, but it's very quiet. You hear the occasional flap of chitter's wings, and then you hear a loud crash, like a glass, like glass hitting the floor and breaking. And then you hear a voice very out of place that says, "Oh no, my lilies again!" And that voice is coming from the woods on your left, and that kind of like breaks the moment and brings you back.
I think Cassie's attention would sort of like jolt back and shoot over to look at in the direction of the woods.
Okay, so you go right there, carrying all your pets.
Yeah, all the pets, my stack, my little mountain.
Nice. Okay. Arnold and Prim, are you following?
Mhm.
Okay.
Are you okay? What's going on over here?
You actually don't hear any answer, but you find a little path behind memory here, behind the stone slab you were standing in front of, and you remember that this is part of the town, and there are some kind of like little cottages that people can rent for vacation and everything. And you were considering renting one of these, but you ended up deciding to stay at the inn because it was in the town and it was more festive. But as you take your right, behind some trees, you find a small one-room cottage with a withering garden out front, and you see a lot of recently empty plant pots that are piled on a potting bench along the side of the house, and the wind chimes cast glistening notes through the air. And then you hear another crash, and the door slams open, and you hear, "Oh, fiddle sticks and lotus stems and my lilies and my petunias," and you see this hopped up woman, and she's kind of like, she has a broken glass in her hand, and she's coming out, and she's kind of like upset, and when she sees you, she just freezes and stops talking.
Are you having some trouble with your flowers over here, dear?
And she looks at you, and she looks at the flowers, and she looks at the broken glass she has on her hand, and she goes like, "Mm, well, not that you mention, well, actually, yes." And she points at one of the on some pots, and you see some flowers there that look really, really sad. And it's not really hard to discern that she overwaters them. And she goes like I don't know what the problem is. And then she goes like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting visitors. Please come on in." And she invites you in. But she's kind of distracted a bit. But she invites you in, and she offers you tea and puts on a kettle.
Are you a ghost florist?
She turns to you and she says, "What now?"
Are you a ghost florist?
"No, I am not
Do
a
you
ghost,
walk
madam."
around town wearing a purple sheet?
And as you say this, she again freezes. Like she was about to pour the hot water in the kettle and the teapot, and she stops and she goes like,
We're
"So,
not bad about it.
you're not?"
You're keeping ancient traditions alive. You're respecting things that have been in place for centuries. That's beautiful.
Okay. So as you say this, she kind of like puts the kettle on down slowly, and she starts kind of like fidgeting with her fingers, and she looks at each one of you, and she looks for some reason at some bat that's flying around in circles, and
He's a friend.
Yeah, don't mind him. He's hanging
and,
out.
and you're like very friendly, very chill, and she kind of like breaks down, and she goes like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know what to do. I just got these rare seeds, and I found these books in the library. I wasn't even looking for all rituals in the library. I was just looking for some gardening books to keep better care of my plants, because I'm terrible at the gardening stuff. And then I found the ritual, and I was like, oh, maybe I should plant the flowers. And I planted one, and I was like, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna bloom? And it actually bloomed, and I was like, oh my god, so they bloom, so maybe I should keep planting them. And then people were like, oh, what are these things? And I was like, oh, maybe if I dress up, they will not know it is me, and I can go about town and nobody will see me. But I am the worst at the planting as well, and everybody saw me. I am too deep in to pull back, and I don't know what to do. And she's like at the brink of tears.
Well, slow down.
But you did it though. You finished.
And she's like trembling, and she says that I haven't finished. I need to plant one more.
Oh.
But
Where do you need to plant it?
No, I can do that. I mean, I should do that to finish the ritual, but if I do that, everyone's gonna be bad at me. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? They're gonna kick me out.
Well, we'll stand with you.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we're
Us
tourists, but
and all of our pets.
we have so many pets.
That's like 8 votes for you.
Okay. You know what? You're very convincing. And I think I like about this game is that you're not all the you don't have to roll all the time. And I really like what you're telling her. You are really encouraging her. So it maybe takes you like kind of like 15 minutes to calm her down. And she finally calms down, and she says, okay, I'm gonna do it. I swear I just wanted to help. I found this ritual, and it says that if you carry it out, you will have a good harvest next year. That's why I thought, I don't know if this is the right time of the year to do it, but this is where I'm here. And if you back me down, maybe I could do that, if that's okay.
More than happy to.
100%.
What if thought maybe we decorate that old sheet, maybe add some of the flowers to it as decoration, doll it up a little bit?
We make it a cape.
Even better. Instead of a ghost, you're a hero of the harvest.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. And then she goes to tell you that actually I mean, she explains the whole creepy wood carvings on the basement of Mainland Manor, and she says that she was hiding there so nobody would see her. And what she wanted to do was to make kind of like a huge diorama at the central square with the carvings of people of the town, because she wanted to tell this story. And she says, have you heard about Marigold and I forgot the other name.
Anya.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so she goes like Anya and Marigold. She mentions, I read a story about the founding of this town, and when you acknowledge that you know about them, and she gets excited, and she says like, well, yeah, I wanted to tell the story. I thought it was a good thing. I don't think people normally tell stories with props, but I thought it was a good idea to tell this story, and that's why I was making all those art projects.
Stories with props are just theater, and people love a good show.
Yeah. Should we be worried that you were messing with the mail slipping the postcard in there?
Did you give me the postcard? Was that you?
She looks puzzled and she says, "The what now? I don't remember. I
Did
don't
you put a postcard in my postman bag?
know. Are you a mail carrier?"
I am, yes. At your service.
Prim looks very, very proud. And Grania says, "I don't know. I don't know. I no."
Okay, well, that was some magic,
Yeah.
which is also really cool. Though people should be messing with the mail system.
And I suppose
It's
putting something in the mail isn't as bad as stealing something from the mail.
You're right, you're right.
That's true. They did just, give us something to deliver. So they followed the order.
Grania looks very confused looking at you. I don't know what she doesn't know what you're talking about.
Well, let's get to work on that cape, yeah?
Okay, so I guess
As we're sizing her for the cape, Albert's going to pat her on the shoulder and use his embolden ability, which gives somebody some confidence, which certainly she could use.
she actually she was feeling kind of like undecided yet, and as you do that, she feels completely reassured, and she says, "Yes, we can do this. If we do it together, and maybe if I should explain everything that happened, and then people will not be mad." Great. Okay, so do you want to ask her anything else, or should we just keep going?
I think we should go plant this last seed.
Okay. So I guess you would help her. She had this kind of a lavender cloak she would use at night to go plant some flowers, and you decorated. You put some flowers and ribbons, and she looks very nice in her new cloak, lavender cloak. And so you come down from Memory Hill together, and you go to town. She explains to you where she has to plant the last flower, and she explains to you that's the last point to complete the Flourish Shastra symbol. And as she plants it, you wait a couple of seconds, and you see the bloom comes out of the earth, and it blooms instantly. And you see this flower up front, and it's a beautiful crystal flower that sheds dim light. And Granny explains that this flower blooms and shines. This flower shines under the moonlight. And then you help her kind of like first, I guess you have to accompany her to the mayor manor to talk to the mayor. And the mayor knows her. He also welcomed her when she arrived in the town about 2 weeks ago or so. And it's kind of awkward because everybody in town is in there because it's the holiday, as you remember. Everybody is there, and she's kind of like fidgety and nervous. And then she looks at Arnold, and she remembers that she was emboldened, and she goes like, well, she explains everything. And at some point, one elderly puffin, which is the bird ancestry, a very elderly woman, she says that she actually knew Floor when they were children. They would play together, but then she moved away, and she was happy to remember an old friend. And the mayor says like, well, it's he's kind of like torn because he's a very nice man, and he goes like, well, it was not really nice to spook people. But I guess it's really nice what she tried to do. So you help her mount this huge diorama in the town square, and everybody comes out. And would you help her kind of like, would you use magic or something to help her tell the story?
Oh, for sure. I think, well, by profession, Cassie's an event planner, so I think very impromptu. She plans the whole the stage production, the like backdrops. I think we get the wood carvings. We go grab those and we bring them back and we tell the whole story.
Okay. Steve and Prim?
I think that the job for Prib is to deliver the invitations to the
Okay.
event.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Door to door, person to person, face
I
to
guess
face.
since they are all gathering at the Mayor Manor, you would go person to person.
Oh yeah, in the manor,
Flip it
yes, but
around.
each person gets their own invitation.
Nice. I like it. Arnold, would you like to do something?
I think, well, okay, so Arnold is skilled in local lore, not so much local lore here, though he's been learning, but I think as the story about the flowers is coming out, and as the story about what's been going on over the last few days is coming out, I think he's also having conversations with some of the other older folks around here to collect some of the stories that they remember and keep some of that local lore alive, and those
No, that's
those local
nice.
rituals that they grew up with.
Okay, I guess you would teach. I mean, you would help Grania do this kind of like a theater, and you would I guess you would strike conversation with the older folks, and they would you would kind of like spark memories in them, and they would go like, oh yes, I remember we used to do that when I was a child, and they get really excited talking to you, and because you remember, you reminded them of things they had forgotten, and they you have a nice chat with them, and they the the uh, the the mood gets very festive, and people start kind of like dancing again, and singing and sharing drinks, and at some point I we have two more donations from Kyle and Ryder and from Jinx. Thank you so much. Oh my god. We have three more pets. So you go so I guess you are partaking in the festivities after you help Grania perform this presentation, and you are mingling and drinking and eating, and I guess you would be gathering at a table, the four of you, Grania included, and Grania goes like, "Oh, please allow me. I'm gonna I don't know, pour you some cider." And she goes to grab the jug, and then a huge brown rat kind of like jumps from it, and the jug falls to the ground and breaks and spills everything around, and then you go like, oh my god, and then this rat kind of like jumps to Grania, and Grania tries to catch her, and the rat escapes and goes to hide among the glasses. And as you are trying to find it, and you are you're putting aside the glasses, and you find really a couple of hamsters that are like, they're just chilling there, kind of like I don't know, nabbing in some mushrooms or something. They're just kind of like chilling, and if you pick them up, they don't stop eating, but they're very comfortable in your hands. So now
Hey,
you
I got
have
this. I got this. Cider, cocoa, and nog.
nice.
It's
I like
perfect.
it. Okay, so I guess you're getting a very large stack.
All right, let's review. Let's review the pet catalog.
Okay.
We've got Stripes. We've got
The first.
yes, the first, our oldest. We've got Jack and Frost
Yes.
and Chitter.
Chitter.
And then we've also got cider cocoa nog.
Don't forget Cassie too.
And Cassie too on my nose.
Yes, Cassie too, and then cider, cocoa, and dog. Yes.
That's the whole catalog.
Nice. This troop is growing.
We're way outnumbered.
The trip home is gonna be a lot.
That's right. So you spend the rest of the night celebrating and petting your pets and everything. And at some point, you don't really notice this, but the crystal night blooms shed the small petals and disappear. The petals are left behind. And at the same time, you would be in the home in the Mayor Manor, and one of you would look out the window and you see it started to snow, meaning the winter is already here. But at the same time, you feel like a warm wind blowing in Oaken Bend, and you feel like it's a good omen. And you stay there, you celebrate the beginning of the winter. Maybe you go outside and play in the snow. And we don't see this because you are there, but if the camera focuses on Memory Hill, we see this huge stone slab at the top of Memory Hill, and we see Flor again, and she's standing by the shrine. She has a smile on her face, and you see that she has these flowers and ribbons on her antlers. She reaches down and with her fingertips she touches the earth, and she promises Oaken Bend a good harvest for the next year, and she just fades into the air and disappears. And that's where we end our story. And thank you so much for playing.
Yeah.
You did it. You got a good harvest for next year in Oaken Bend. And yeah, that's all from my part. I hope you liked it, and thank you so much for playing, and thank you so much to Diversity Saves for hosting us, and thank you everyone who donated. We got a total of $135. Thank you so much. Okay. So now let's tell people where to find us. Anna, let's go with you.
Oh boy. Okay. You can find me everywhere. I'm in your walls. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Local Level Up Lady. And you can also find me in the Minds Over Matter podcast, which is everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. We release episodes every 2 weeks.
Let's go with Steve.
I'm Steve. You can find me on the socials at Tall Halfling. On Threads, it's Tall Halfling RPG. I was going to say, what do I have coming up? This is actually my last game of the year, but I do have some cool stuff coming up in January. A couple of games at Miskatonic Playhouse. A Star Trek Adventures 3-parter over on Restless Barbarian, and who knows what else.
Okay.
I think the last we see of Arnold, he's fixing the jug that was dropped in.
Yeah, it was on brand. Kenzie?
Yeah, I'm Kenzie. You can find me at K Tartaglione on Blue Sky, and then you can also find me on my podcast where I'm the creative director and resident GM, and it's called Queer PG.
And I am Claudia. I'm Cy Morgan on Blue Sky, and I host weekly podcast in Spanish about role-playing games and geek stuff with my husband and a friend and some other people every Monday. We're on vacation now. We're on break for the holidays. And I would definitely say that please take a look at the Latin Lounge and Gen Con next year. I'm gonna be there, most certainly. And that's me. So thank you so much. And that's all. Nekola.
Thank you all for
Bye.
joining
Thank you
us.
all.
Have a great night.